In the dazzling world of fame, cameras never stop flashing, fans never stop screaming, and hearts are never truly safe. Kim was known as the cold one. Elegant, untouchable, the girl whose beauty could silence an entire room with just one glance. People loved her smile, but nobody noticed how fake it had become. Every performance, every interview, every perfect photo felt like a mask she could no longer remove. Until one night, she met Lalie. Lalie was different from everyone Kim had ever known. Wild but soft, funny without trying, the type of girl who laughed so freely that it made other people forget their problems too. She didn't treat Kim like a celebrity. She treated her like a person. And somehow, that terrified Kim more than fame ever did. At first, they were only strangers forced together by schedules, rehearsals, and endless public appearances. But little by little, late-night conversations turned into inside jokes. Simple glances became dangerous. Accidental touches started lasting longer than they should. And somewhere between airport walks, hidden smiles, and silent moments nobody else noticed, Kim realized something she was never prepared for. She was falling in love with Lalie, but love was forbidden in their world. One wrong rumor could destroy everything they built. Their careers, their dreams, their friendship. So Kim kept quiet, even when her heart was already screaming Lalie's name. And the saddest part, Lalie had no idea that every song Kim wrote was secretly about her. The stadium lights were blinding. Thousands of fans screamed as Kim stepped onto the stage with her usual calm expression. Cameras followed every movement she made, capturing the perfect idol everyone admired. But behind that perfect image, Kim felt exhausted. Another performance, another fake smile, another night pretending everything was okay. As the music started, she pushed the thoughts away and focused on dancing. Then she saw her, Lalie, standing on the opposite side of the stage with silver hair shining under the lights, grinning like she owned the entire world. And somehow, Kim couldn't look away. Lalie noticed her staring and smirked playfully before winking. Kim immediately looked away, annoyed at how fast her heartbeat changed. "Focus," she whispered to herself. But it became impossible after that. Every time they crossed paths during the performance, Lalie kept teasing her with tiny smiles and playful glances. It irritated Kim. At least that's what she kept telling herself. After the concert ended, the members headed backstage, exhausted and sweaty from performing. Kim grabbed a bottle of water and sat quietly in the corner. Then suddenly, "Why are you always so serious?" Kim looked up. Lalie stood in front of her with crossed arms and a teasing smile. "I'm not serious," Kim replied coldly. Lalie laughed. "You literally look angry even while drinking water." Kim rolled her eyes. "And you talk too much." "Ouch," Lalie said dramatically while placing a hand on her chest. "That hurts." For the first time that night, Kim smiled. A real one. Lalie noticed it immediately and froze for a second. "There it is," she whispered softly. Kim frowned. "What?" That smile. Something about the way Lalie said it made Kim's chest feel strangely warm. Before Kim could answer, the manager suddenly called them for a meeting. Lalie started walking away but stopped beside Kim first. "You should smile more often," she said quietly. "You're prettier when it's real." And just like that, she left, leaving Kim completely speechless. The dorm was unusually quiet. Everyone else had already fallen asleep after the exhausting concert. Everyone except Kim. She sat alone near the window, scrolling mindlessly through her phone while rain softly hit the glass. But no matter what she did, her mind kept replaying Lalie's words. "You're prettier when it's real." Kim sighed deeply. Why was she even thinking about that? Suddenly she heard footsteps behind her. You can't sleep too? Kim turned around and saw Lalie wearing oversized pajamas while holding 2 cups of instant noodles. Kim blinked. You eat at this hour? Lalie grinned. Stress eating! Without waiting for permission, Lalie sat beside her and handed her 1 cup. Kim hesitated before accepting it. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Only the sound of rain filled the silence. Then Lalie suddenly asked, Are you happy? Kim looked at her in surprise. What kind of question is that? A serious one. Lalie wasn't smiling anymore. Kim looked down at the noodles in her hands. Nobody had asked her that in a long time. People usually asked if she was tired, if she practiced enough, if she was ready for schedules. But happiness? That felt unfamiliar. I don't know, Kim answered honestly. Lalie stared at her quietly before leaning her head against the couch. That's sad. Kim looked at her. Why do you care? Lalie smiled softly without looking at her. Because I think you pretend too much. The words hit deeper than Kim expected. For some reason, being understood scared her. Kim looked away, trying to hide the emotions in her eyes. But Lalie noticed anyway, and instead of teasing her this time, she gently bumped her shoulder against Kim's. A simple gesture, yet somehow it felt warmer than anything Kim had experienced in months. That night, they stayed by the window until sunrise, talking about dreams, fears, childhood memories, and for the first time in a very long while, Kim forgot what loneliness felt like. The next few weeks became dangerous for Kim, not because of scandals, not because of rumors, but because of Lalie. Everywhere she went, Lalie was there, stealing her food during practice breaks, laughing too loudly beside her, resting her head on Kim's shoulder whenever she got tired. And the worst part? Kim was starting to like it. One afternoon, the group had a photo shoot for a luxury brand. The staff buzzed around them while cameras flashed nonstop. Kim stood in front of the camera effortlessly, looking elegant as always. But in the middle of posing, she heard laughter behind the monitor. Lalie. Kim unconsciously looked toward her. Click. The camera captured it instantly. The photographer smiled. Perfect. That look in your eyes was real. Kim quickly looked away, embarrassed. Meanwhile, Lalie only smirked knowingly. Later that evening, they returned to the dorm exhausted. Kim walked into the kitchen and froze. Lalie stood on the counter trying to reach snacks from the top shelf. What are you doing? Kim asked. Lalie nearly fell in surprise. Trying not to starve, Kim sighed before easily grabbing the snacks for her. Lalie pouted dramatically. You make me feel tiny. You are tiny. Lalie gasped. That sounded rude. Kim chuckled softly. And once again, Lalie stared at her like she had discovered something precious. You've been smiling more lately, Lalie whispered. Kim's heart skipped. Before she could answer, Lalie stepped closer. Too close. Kim could smell her perfume, could hear her breathing, could feel the sudden tension filling the room. For a second, neither of them moved. Then, Lalie, Kim, the manager is calling. They immediately stepped apart. But the moment had already happened, and both of them knew it. Fame came with attention, too much attention, especially for someone like Lalie. During a music award event, idols and celebrities filled the backstage area. Cameras followed every interaction carefully. Kim stayed quiet as usual while checking her phone. Then she noticed something that instantly ruined her mood. A famous male actor was flirting with Lalie, laughing too closely, touching her arm, making her smile. Kim clenched her jaw. She tried ignoring it, tried convincing herself it wasn't her business. But when the actor suddenly leaned near Lalie's ear, Kim snapped. She walked straight toward them. Lalie, Kim said coldly. Lalie turned around immediately, surprised. We're needed backstage. The actor blinked awkwardly. "Oh, sorry, I didn't know." Kim didn't even let him finish. She grabbed Lalie's wrist and pulled her away. Fast. The moment they reached an empty hallway, Lalie burst into laughter. "Wait, were you jealous?" Kim immediately let go. "No. You literally looked ready to fight him." "I was not." Lalie stepped closer with a teasing grin. "You were jealous." Kim crossed her arms stubbornly. "He was annoying." "And too close." Lalie smiled wider. "So you noticed?" Kim realized her mistake too late. Lalie laughed softly before gently fixing Kim's slightly messy hair. The simple touch made Kim freeze. "You're cute when you're jealous," Lalie whispered. Kim's heartbeat became uncontrollable, and for the first time, she started wondering if maybe, just maybe, Lalie felt the same way too. The city lights blurred outside, the car window as heavy rain poured, endlessly that night. Their schedules had ended late again. Everyone else went ahead to the dorm, leaving only Kim and Lalie inside the van while waiting for the driver. The silence between them felt different now. Heavier, dangerous. Kim kept staring outside, pretending not to notice Lalie looking at her every few seconds. "What?" Kim finally asked quietly. Lalie smiled faintly. "Nothing. You've been staring. Because you're pretty." Kim nearly choked on air. Lalie laughed softly at her reaction. "You get embarrassed so easily. You say weird things." "No," Lalie whispered. "I just say honest things." Kim looked at her, and suddenly the playful atmosphere disappeared. Lalie's eyes looked serious. Too serious. Rain echoed loudly around them as their breathing became the only thing Kim could focus on. Then Lalie spoke again. "Can I ask you something?" Kim nodded slowly. "When you look at me," Lalie hesitated, "do you ever feel scared too?" Kim's chest tightened, because she understood exactly what Lalie meant. The fear, the confusion, the feelings neither of them were supposed to have. Kim looked down at her trembling hands. "Yes," she admitted softly. Lalie's expression changed instantly. Relief, like she had been waiting forever to hear those words. Before Kim could think properly, Lalie gently reached for her hand. Their fingers touched, and neither of them pulled away. Kim's heart pounded violently. "I think," Lalie whispered carefully, "I'm starting to like you more than I should." The world felt silent after that. Kim stared at her, unable to breathe properly. Because she felt the same way, maybe even worse. Slowly, Kim intertwined their fingers. A small action, but it meant everything. And under the sound of rain, they silently confessed without needing another word. Everything changed after that night. Not publicly, not officially, but privately, they became inseparable. Tiny secret moments started meaning more than they should. Lalie waiting for Kim after practice. Kim fixing Lalie's hair without realizing it. Late night calls even when they were only rooms apart, and every touch now carried hidden meaning. One evening, the group traveled overseas for a fashion event. The hotel overlooked the ocean, glowing beautifully beneath the moonlight. After the event, everyone celebrated downstairs. Everyone except Kim and Lalie. They escaped to the balcony of Kim's room instead. The cold wind moved gently through Lalie's hair as she leaned against the railing. "It's peaceful here," she whispered. Kim stood beside her quietly. For a while, neither spoke. Then Lalie suddenly turned toward her. "Do you ever wish we were normal?" Kim frowned slightly. "Normal? No cameras, no rumors, no rules." Lalie smiled sadly. "Just us." Kim's chest hurt hearing that, because she wanted it too, more than anything. Without thinking, Kim stepped closer, very close. Lalie looked up slowly. Their eyes locked, and suddenly the space between them disappeared. Kim's hand carefully touched Lalie's cheek. Gentle, shaking slightly. Lalie didn't move away. Instead, she leaned into the touch softly. Kim's breathing became uneven. "So this is real?" Lalie whispered. Kim nodded once, very slowly. Lalie smiled weakly. "Then why does it feel terrifying?" Kim didn't know the answer. All she knew was she wanted Lalie closer. Closer than friendship. Closer than safety. Their faces moved inches apart. One more second, and they would have kissed. But suddenly, knock, knock, knock. "Kim? Lalie? The manager is looking for you girls." They jumped apart immediately, both breathing hard, both completely speechless. And as Lalie quickly left the room, Kim realized something terrifying. She didn't almost kiss Lalie because of curiosity. She almost kissed her because she was already deeply in love. Love was becoming harder to hide. No matter how careful Kim and Lalie tried to be, people were starting to notice the way they looked at each other, the way Kim unconsciously searched for Lalie in every crowded room, the way Lalie smiled differently whenever Kim was near. Fans began posting edited videos online, slow-motion clips, matching bracelets, hidden glances during concerts, and one hashtag started spreading everywhere: Kim Lalie. At first, they laughed about it, until their manager called them into a private meeting. "This needs to stop," he said seriously while placing printed photos on the table. Photos of them together, holding hands accidentally backstage, late-night outings, moments they thought nobody saw. Kim felt cold. Lalie stayed unusually quiet beside her. "The company doesn't want rumors damaging your image," the manager continued. "So from now on, keep your distance publicly. Keep your distance." The words hurt more than Kim expected. After the meeting ended, neither of them spoke while walking back to the dorm. The silence between them felt painful. Finally, Lalie stopped walking. "Maybe they're right," she whispered. Kim looked at her immediately. "What?" Lalie forced a small smile. "We're getting too obvious." Kim hated hearing that. Because for the first time, fear started winning over happiness. "So what?" Kim asked quietly. "You want us to pretend nothing's happening?" Lalie looked away. "I don't know." That answer shattered something inside Kim. For the next few days, everything changed. No more sitting together during interviews. No more playful touching. No more late-night talks. And somehow being beside. Lalie, while acting like strangers, felt worse than never meeting her at all. The tension finally exploded during rehearsal. Everyone noticed it. Kim was colder than usual. Lalie avoided eye contact completely, and neither of them could focus properly. During break time, Kim walked outside the studio alone, frustrated and exhausted. A few minutes later, footsteps followed behind her. "Lalie, we need to talk," she said softly. Kim crossed her arms. "About what?" Lalie sighed. "Stop acting like you hate me." Kim laughed bitterly. "You're the one avoiding me, because I'm trying to protect us. By pretending I don't exist?" Lalie stayed silent. That silence only made Kim angrier. "You know what hurts the most?" Kim whispered shakily. "I finally let someone in. I finally trusted someone." Lalie's expression fell instantly. "And now you're scared of loving me." "That's not true." "Then why does it feel like I'm the only one fighting for this?" Lalie looked completely heartbroken. "You think this is easy for me?" she asked quietly. "Every single day I'm terrified. One mistake could destroy everything." Kim's eyes started burning with emotion. "But losing you would destroy me too." The words stunned both of them, because Kim had never admitted something that honest before. Lalie stepped closer slowly. Her eyes looked emotional now too. "You're not going to lose me," she whispered. "Then stop pushing me away." For a moment, neither moved. Then suddenly, Lalie pulled Kim into a tight hug. Kim froze before finally hugging her back desperately. All the fear, all the frustration, All the hidden love. It broke between them at once. "I'm sorry," Lalie whispered against her shoulder. Kim closed her eyes tightly, and for the first time in days, she felt safe again. Months passed. The rumors slowly faded, schedules became busier, and the world moved on. But Kim and Lalie, they stayed the same. Still secretly in love, still hiding, still finding small ways to choose each other every single day. A touch under the table during interviews, secret late-night drives around the city, silent "I miss you" looks across crowded rooms. It wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. One winter night after a concert overseas, the snow fell softly outside their hotel. The members were asleep already, but Kim stood alone on the rooftop, watching the city lights below. Then she heard footsteps. Lalie. Of course it was Lalie. "You disappeared again," Lalie said while walking beside her. "I needed air." Lalie smiled softly before wrapping a scarf around Kim's neck. "You'll get sick." Kim looked at her quietly. There was something painfully beautiful about this moment. No cameras, no managers, no pretending, just them. The cold wind made Lalie move closer instinctively. Kim looked down at her slowly, and this time, neither of them looked away. "I'm tired of being scared," Kim whispered. Lalie's eyes softened immediately. "So am I." For a second, the world became completely silent. Then Kim gently touched Lalie's face and finally kissed her, softly, carefully, like something precious she had waited forever to hold. Lalie immediately kissed her back, warm despite the cold snow around them. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. Not fame, not rumors, not fear, because after all this time, they finally belonged to each other. Love didn't magically become easy after that. They still had to hide, still had to be careful, but now there was certainty between them. No more confusion, no more pretending. They were together, and somehow that made every difficult day worth surviving. One evening, after finishing another exhausting world tour, the group sat together during a live stream for fans. Laughter filled the room while everyone answered questions happily. Then one fan comment suddenly appeared on screen. "Do you believe true love exists?" The members laughed teasingly while thinking of answers. But Kim stayed quiet, because beside her, Lalie secretly hooked their pinkies together out of camera view. Tiny, hidden, but real. Kim smiled softly before answering first. "Yes," she said gently. The members reacted dramatically while laughing. "Oh," Kim only chuckled. Then she glanced at Lalie for half a second. A glance nobody else understood, but Lalie did. Completely. And in that moment, Kim realized something important. Maybe love didn't always need to be loud. Maybe some love stories survived quietly, in hidden touches, in secret smiles, in staying despite the fear. And maybe that kind of love was the strongest of all. Years later, fans still talked about Kim and Lalie's chemistry. The legendary eye contact, the soft smiles, the moments that felt too real to be fake. Some believed they were only close friends. Others believed they were something more. But the truth? The truth lived in private moments nobody else would ever see, in matching rings hidden beneath gloves, in goodnight kisses after exhausting tours, in quiet mornings where Kim no longer needed to fake her smile, because the girl who once felt lonely in a world full of people finally found someone who made her feel loved. And no matter how chaotic fame became, whenever Kim looked at Lalie, she still felt the exact same thing she felt the very first night. Home. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the story, please support this channel so we can create more woman love stories in English. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next stories filled with romance, drama, and real love. Every like, share, and comment you leave helps us create more stories that bring inspiration and representation to the WLW community. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, it's never too late to love the person who is truly meant for you.